I've been searching for a small compact camera that will allow me to tell kind of more coherent and story-driven content for my own purposes, be it family, travel, or anything else really in between. When this camera came out, I didn't necessarily really put too many thoughts to it. This is of course the Canon Powershot V1, which is part of Canon's new vlogger range of cameras, with the V10, the V1, and then also the Canon R50 V. You've got a camera that has decent audio quality, decent video quality, and decent stabilization, with also being in a nice lightweight form factor. It's slightly bigger than I would have necessarily wanted out of a general compact camera, but kind of fits within kind of like the realm of, oh, this is actually quite cool, I can actually see it being quite powerful. The other side of it being is I generally shoot quite a few little behind the scenes stuff with my iPhone, and I want to step away from that and get a slightly higher quality imaging, because sometimes when it comes to the iPhone anyway, a lot of the sort of like low depth of field cinema stuff is actually not always perfect, and it can detract from what you're shooting sometimes. So I wanted to test it out in terms of its kind of like almost macro capabilities in that retrospect for doing B-roll kind of shots. Let's get into some of the specs anyway. So with this camera, you have a 22.4 megapixel 1.4 inch sensor. You can do 4K 60, however I mostly kept it in 4K 25. You've got optical image stabilization there as well, so you've got a chance to get really stable looking shots. So when you are traveling about and you want to create a small video, you can actually do that with it. You can do 120p slow motion. Quite a lot of motion here, so let's see what the slow motion looks like. At HD, it's not a 4K, it's not going to be. This camera is not really priced within stupid spec area. And then lastly, it's a 16 to 50mm f2.8, and it's got ND filters built into it, as well as having the ability to shoot C-Log, which will allow us to do a little bit of playing in terms of the color after the fact. So what did I do with it? Over the short amount of time I actually was able to use the camera, one of them gave me the opportunity to go over Swansea Way to the Botanical Gardens, which is this beautiful modern structure in this estate. And I was going out there with family, taking some photos. We're going to look at the photos at the end of the video and talk about what I got out of them in terms of like just general quality, as well as maybe even some of the video, and kind of put you through your paces and show you what I got out of the camera and what I enjoyed about it. Anyway, let's get into it. Oh.
I thought I missing.
Let's switch over to video quite easily with this switch here. Go over to there. Again, the screen's nice, bright and responsive. It's very bright today, so I can actually see things properly. This does actually have touchscreen autofocus, so as you can see, I'm now focusing in on over there. And then a nice slow dolly zoom. It's changing the aperture a little bit, so of course it does have a variable aperture, but overall the shots look really quite nice, just straight out of camera. So as you can see, the stabilization, just going to do kind of like a long take here just to show you kind of how good it is in terms of just doing fun videos. Gonna do my best gimbal walk. Here is quite a nice little area. What we're going to do is switch it over to photo now and go nice and wide, go up high.
Rolling.
So just generally shooting with this camera so far, I've really enjoyed using it. This is actually just using the internal mic of the actual camera to really test it out. If it doesn't work out, then well, we know. But what I've been really impressed by is actually how fun it is to use. Just in general, it may not have the highest specs, but for what it does have, it's a lot of fun. The other side of it does actually have a full plastic construction, so it's not actually got a metal part to it, apart from maybe parts of the lens, of course, but the main thing is plastic, right? And it actually feels really nice in the hand just anyway. I was originally worried about it when I first got it out of its box, but pleasantly surprised. Really nice ergonomics, and it's kind of what I'm expecting from Canon here. Anyway, let's continue. The long end is actually quite nice to just take photos with, just like Canon is in general. Wide angle is a little bit too wide for general photos, but I can see it being quite useful for landscapes, shots like this.
Over there, but look, it's actually like...
Oh yeah.
I think I'm sure it's a banana tree. I don't know what we do.
Smile. Yatta! Perfect.
What?
Boss ass. Body heading that way. Body heading that way. Yeah.
Okay, my eyes are here. Oh, yeah. Want me to smile?
We're down under.
We're in Australia, mate. Look. The Welsh Australia have a done for you.
The Welsh Australia.
Welsh Australia.
So where are we right now?
Huh?
Where we're at? Where are we at right now?
The National Botanical Gardens in Australia.
In Australia.
Australia.
Are you just saying Australia? Is that the
Australia.
Is that the depths of your? So this is of course a compact camera. You're not necessarily expecting ridiculously high specs or high image quality, at least for the most part, compared to a full frame professional orientated camera. This is a camera that is going to be better than what you shoot out of your iPhone and look to get good quality footage, overall footage and photos for you to enjoy and kind of just take you away from your phone essentially. So this is the first photo I took as I entered into the gardens, and you've probably seen the photo already depending if I put it in. And looking at the image, it's actually remarkably sharp for a nice little compact camera. The photos, so this is actually a JPEG that I kind of changed the colors around a little bit, not too much, still kind of very natural colors, and I think it actually looks pretty decent, even, you know, even with the slight tweak there, but the quality was still there. And like I said, you can zoom in and pick out kind of like everything, and in terms of like a photo that I could hang on my wall, I could probably do it with that. And then this was a little bit further on, just a different kind of composition, doing a little bit of rule of thirds there. And the photo itself, I think, works out quite well. I mean, for a compact camera with a small sensor, I was actually quite surprised at how happy I was when it came to the photos, which I haven't necessarily been since trying out the Leica Deluxe 8, because that was a lot of fun, and the photos I got out of that were actually surprisingly good. Also, you know, took a photo with my missus, so this was on the widest angle of the lens because it's got to be able to fit me in it. And it kind of works well using the portrait mode of the screen facing us and doing a little selfie. So it's kind of perfect for doing that kind of stuff. Also, when it came to testing out the macro capabilities, it actually can focus really quite close, which allows you to maybe use it for product reviews or getting general B-roll really quite easy and actually get some really effective kind of footage out of it. The colors, the reproduction of the image is excellent. Going for a more sort of like Instagram-y approach to exploring a conservatory. You know, the photos have come out really quite well, and again, it's really quite sharp. I mean, you can really zoom in there and check out some of the like really in-depth detail. And that 22 megapixel sensor does really quite well. Really quite impressed with how this camera performed overall, and it actually surprised me as a sort of like consumer compact camera. Now, if you're looking at the price, you're looking to spend between $959 and $979, depending on kind of what kit you go for. They're available pre-order at the moment, so if you want to buy one, of course, go down below and click the link. It helps this channel out quite a bit. The camera in the hand felt really pretty decent, to be honest with you. I have slightly larger hands, so it's nice that it was a slightly larger profile compared to a lot of other compact cameras out on the market. And I feel this kind of fills the role for maybe a professional like me as a sort of like general B-roll behind the scenes fun camera that I can take out day to day, and it performs that role really quite well. It was also really easy for my missus to actually use it whilst we were actually exploring the gardens, and overall the general user experience, the quality of the camera and the footage out of it was pretty decent. So I actually give it quite a high mark overall. I don't know what our marks are going to be yet, I haven't really come up with that, but I'm actually impressed with the camera, and well, let me know what you think down below. If you like this video, make sure you like, follow, subscribe if you want to see more. Have a good day.